Legend of the Crystal Beast releases on September 30th. Like its OCG equivalent, Legend of the Crystals, this structure deck introduces support for the Crystal Beast archetype to the TCG, as well as reprinting several staple cards to help get you started on building a competitive Crystal Beast deck. Does it meet that mark? Let's talk about it. To start, there's 7 new cards, and I'm gonna be honest, maybe 3 of them are good. So to start us off, here's the bad card roundup. Crystal Aegis pops a Crystal Beast card you control and summons a token that copies all of its stats. Then, if a Crystal Beast goes to the back row, you can banish it from the graveyard to summon a Crystal Beast out of the back row. Mid. Crystal Boon summons 2 CBs from your back row and gains life points equal to their attack, and that's time in the round. Also, if a CB goes to the back row, excavate 1. If it's a CB, add it to hand or special summon it. If not, it goes to the graveyard. Why does this exist? Crystal Brilliance is a continuous trap card that gives every CB attack equal to its defense.
You're a big guy.
For you.
And, say it with me, if a CB goes to the back row, you could send this card to the graveyard to summon a CB from hand or graveyard, then have all damage for the turn. Okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about the other cards. Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates is a quick play spell that either requires you to reveal an ultimate crystal from hand, in which case you pick one of its 2 effects, or requires you to control an ultimate crystal, in which case you get both. Effect 1 either searches or mills a Rainbow Bridge card or Rainbow Refraction, and Effect 2 special summons a Crystal Beast from hand, deck, graveyard, or the spell trap zones. Rainbow Bridge of the Heart is a continuous spell that gives you an additional normal summon of a Crystal Beast every turn, lets you destroy a Crystal Beast monster from your field or hand to search a crystal spell or trap, and when a Crystal Beast goes to the back row, you can bounce both the bridge and 1 card your opponent controls. Crystal Miracle is a counter trap that can negate and destroy a spell, trap, or monster effect by destroying a Crystal Beast card you control, and if a Crystal Beast goes to the back row, you can banish it from the graveyard to place an additional Crystal Beast in your spell and trap zones. Notably, that effect is once per turn, but the negate is not, so if you draw multiples, you can use the first one to pop a monster and put it in your back row, then use the second one on the same turn, popping that same card that's now a continuous spell. And the final new card, Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive, is a fusion of an Ultimate Crystal and 7 Crystal Beasts that can be hard fusion summoned or summoned like ABC Dragon Buster, but only if you have successfully summoned an Ultimate Crystal monster during this game. While you have 7 or more banished CBs, it gains 7,000 attack, bringing it to a whopping 11,000, but if you haven't attacked with it this turn, you contribute it as a quick effect to shuffle the entire field into the decks and then summon any number of banished Crystal Beasts. This support is a little frustrating. The consistency afforded by Awakening and Heart means you can theoretically find any card in your deck at any time, but the conditions on each of them mean you still need some specific multiple card combos to get anything started. The good news is that there's more in archetype payoffs than ever. Crystal Miracle is an Infernity Barrier that you can search every turn with Heart. Overdrive fixes the issue of Rainbow Overdragon by actually working this time, and even Rainbow Bridge of the Heart can be used as an interruption with some clever use of your effects that place CBs in the back row. The problem is simply that any setups you can do are either too weak or not consistent enough. Consider the difference between Neshi's Conclave Control and Dual Evolution's Overdrive Turbo, which I famously went 9-0 with on stream. 9-0 on Crystal Beast. We don't talk about the Dragon Link game, but we technically won that actually. The combo list can end on an incredibly impressive board of Apollo, IP, and Overdrive, but only if you open Bond and Heart. Yes, there are searchers for both, but especially given how conditional some of them can be, and the fact that you have to play all 7 Crystal Beasts, 6 of which do nothing in your hand, you very often end up with hands that just don't do much of anything. And that's before even taking hand traps into account. The more control-oriented list, on the other hand, can end on Necro Valley Baguska. Now, I know nothing beats good old Plan B, but that just doesn't seem like it would cut it to me. And even despite the more modest ceiling, you're still playing Rainbow Dragon, which you don't want to draw, CB Rainbow Dragon, which you don't want to draw, Salvation, which you don't want to draw. I simply cannot imagine trying to play Salamangreat with Garnets. Well, those are my thoughts on Crystal Beasts as a deck.
But you don't care about those, do you?
They reprinted Ash again. Hey, here's a riddle that maybe some of you can help me with. Konami sells us a structure deck with Ash Blossom in it, MSRP $10, and then 3 years go by and that copy of Ash Blossom is now $17. Where did the $7 come from? Do they pay you to take the rest of the cards? Should I start giving people a $5 to take Gazelle off my hands? Whatever, Soulburner structure deck remains the best investment of my life. If you missed it, IDK rip bozo, I guess. Real star in my opinion is YCS Niagara winner Dimension Shifter, which likely will be the reason you might be able to steal a game or two at locals if you pick up 3 of the structure deck. Other notable reprints include Ghost Bell, Cosmic Cyclone, and that's kind of it. I guess you don't have to pick up one of the other 400 copies of goods. Contact C is useful sometimes. Maybe Melody will be good in something someday. Why the fuck is Ferret Flames in here? So I guess all that's left to talk about is what to build with 3 of the structure, so my recommendation is don't. The structure has none of the combo pieces necessary to make overdrive consistently, or the toolbox rank 4s to do anything more mid-range. That kinda just goes back to the same problem of having no feasible extra deck plays whatsoever. It's just 2 turn 19 bosses you can drop once you get all 7 names in rotation, which implies that you're playing all 7 names. Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon is really good, except actually it's terrible if it's just summoning a vanilla that can't even use the effect to go to the back row, and can't be used for any extra deck plays because there are no extra deck plays. So now, why are you playing potentially 4 or 5 bricks just to summon a monster that does nothing? It makes no sense. Sapphire Pegasus is supposed to be good because it places Rainbow Dragon, and Rainbow Dragon is supposed to be good because it summons another Pegasus, but now you have accomplished the Herculean task of summoning 2 Legends. Congratulations, you broke the 2002 meta! If you want to build something, I guess this is functional. You can kind of grind out games with Conclave and Miracle, but holy shit, it cannot be overstated how hard it is to play this deck when there is genuinely one good monster. You might win if you draw Shifter. If you want my genuine advice though, don't try to play it without picking up extra deck staples. Get some decent rank 4s, get Dual Devastator if you can still find it for a reasonable price. Get yourself a copy of Salvation so you can play those goods. Maybe wait for the ban list to see what field spell you should invest in. I don't know. Maybe just play something else.